Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It feels good to be back. Thank you very much, everyone. I just want to thank everyone that has subscribed. Thank you very much for subscribing. I'd like to thank everyone that have been watching the videos. Love you guys. I appreciate that you guys are watching the videos. I appreciate that you guys are subscribing. And the only thing that I ask is please share these videos with people that are going through a spinal cord injury. Hopefully, they can pick up some pointers from here to what to do with themselves, how to help themselves, and also maybe watching somebody that has gone through the same thing and has actually had a positive outcome can actually, you know, light up that flame in their belly to, get back on their feet and walk again. So thank you everyone for subscribing. Thank you everyone for watching. And if you know somebody who is going through a spinal cord injury, and please send them my way. Have them watch my videos, even if, you know, just so they can relate, just so they know they're not alone. You know what I mean? When I had this happen to me, I wish I could have watched some videos of somebody that was going through the same thing, so I could relate. And especially somebody young. Not somebody who's like old, and somebody like us. You know what I mean? Somebody who's young, somebody who's out there. I don't want to hear the story of like an 80-year-old person that I don't relate to. You know what I mean? So thank you for watching, everyone. I appreciate you. So without further ado, this story is crazy, okay? This story is 1000%, 1,000,000% true, okay? This is what happened to me when I got into my car accident. I literally died. So, no further ado. Here's the story of how I died and came back to life, and I went to hell and heaven. I seen it all. So, here we go. All right, so to make the whole story short, I'm gonna fast forward, and we're gonna go. For those who don't know me, my name is Andres Diaz, also known as the Able Disabled. In 2001, I was in a car accident that I fractured my spine in two different places. I was paralyzed from my waist down on site. I was very lucky that great team of doctors performed a surgery, great surgery, and because of them doing such a great surgery, they performed a spinal fusion. They fixed my nose, they fixed my face. I broke everything. I broke my face, I broke my jaw, broke my arm, broke everything. I broke my spirit, broke my soul. But best part is that it knocked the demons out of me. Okay, so I left all the demons in that car accident. So it was a new birth. Anyway, here we go. So it was a Friday night, and I was on. It was a Friday night, and I was on my way home. I was on my way home from my second job. I work. First job at that time was I worked for a landscaping company, my stepfather's landscaping company. I supervised, I ran things, I did everything. I did everything. Um, so that was a hard work. So from Monday to Saturday, I would work that job from 5:30 in the morning until like okay, six in the morning to I don't know 4:30 in the afternoon. Be home by like 4:30 or 5 every day. So a few hours. Um, and after that job, I have another job, and that was at a bar. I worked security at a bar. I was the front guy, the front door guy. So I'm the guy, first guy you see, the guy who checks your ID. So I'm the doorman. I'm the guy who checks, and we will switch. Walk around, do security. Next guy will be the doorman. Anyway, so I had two jobs. One of them was a landscaping company. The other one was a security. All right. So second job, security job, was always start like around 8 at night, 7 or 8, depends on the night. And it will go up to like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, depends how much time I was available. Usually during the week, I will only work until like 3 or 2, because then I have to drive home and then go to sleep and then wake up, go to sleep for a few hours and then wake up and go to my first job, right? So you can imagine this type of life for a few months, not a few weeks, a few months. So that's how I lived. I used to almost a year. For a full year, I lived like that. So I was always tired. I was always like falling asleep. I was always like sleep deprived because I worked really hard, but then I party hard because after my other job, after the bar job, when I get out of work, you can't just go home. You met somebody or somebody buy you a beer, whatever, or you just want to unwind for like an hour or so, and then you go home. By that time, it's like 4 in the morning, 4:30. Literally go to sleep for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then get up to go to my next job. crazy, okay? But these are the things you can do when you're like 23. I can't do that anymore. When I was 23, I could do that, but not anymore. If I try to do that right now, I would probably die. So, no pun intended there. Anyway, so here's the story. So, went to my first job, blah, blah, blah. Got off my first job, did my routine, got my butt to my second job, right? When I got to my second job in the city, security, bouncer, that day we were overstaffed. So they're like, hey, you, Dre, you have two jobs. Are you tired? You want to go home? And I'm like, oh, yes, I am so tired. Been working a week, blah, blah, blah. Barely got like, probably through the whole week, I probably got like 5 hours of sleep, 6 hours of sleep maybe. Not even exaggerating. It was that bad. So I'm driving on my way home, and I'm not feeling that great, feeling tired, sleep deprived, all this weird stuff going on. So finally get to my town, to where I live, and I'm not feeling well at all. I started feeling weird. Um, couldn't really breathe. I was kind of like sweating and stuff, and um, try to roll down my driver's window, but apparently somebody tried to break into my car. I just figured it out right there because I looked and I see a whole bunch of fingerprints, and then my window didn't work. So somebody tried to slim jimmy my window, get into my car to steal my car or to steal whatever was in the car. The city. What are you gonna do? So trying to roll down my window, and I can't roll it down. It's not going down. So I'm like, what the heck? And I'm figuring out. I see finger, I see all that. I'm like, oh man, somebody tried to bring it to my car. This is garbage. So I push the other side window, the passenger side window, and I roll down that window. Okay, now I feel a little bit of air, starting to feel a little better, but just still not feeling good, tired and all that. And all I can remember is the last thing I remember was rolling down that window, feeling the air kind of hit me, and me holding to the steering wheel and kind of seeing like little black dots everywhere. I'm like, oh no, what's going on here? What's going on? I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And there's no way I can like pull over or stop like that. And I literally just like blacked out. Like I fell asleep. Like I literally fell my head and everything go like that. And I said, oh no. I was trying to open up my eyes. Oh my God, open up your eyes, open up your eyes. And next thing I know, I just felt a boom, just a huge boom, huge jolt. I heard broken glass. I heard my car's fiberglass. At that time, I was driving a Corvette. I used to race cars, drove a Corvette. So I hear all the fiberglass just exploding. I hear just liquids flying everywhere. Just a huge accident happened. But everything's dark, and I'm trying to figure it out. And then everything just went like completely dark. And then out of nowhere, I just felt like this is so weird. When you're vacuuming something, when you're using the vacuum and you put the vacuum like next to the skin, like the tube, and like it sucks on your skin. Like I literally felt like somebody grab a vacuum tube and just put it right in top of me and suck me up, right? So I literally go like I feel that like what the heck is going on, and I feel like the suction up, and as I'm being like pulled up like that, I look down. And as I look down, I literally see my car completely wrecked. It had gone out of the road into a tree, and there was smoke everywhere. All the glass, like I could literally see this, like as I'm being sucked up, like like a vacuum, like that. And like I'm looking down, and I'm seeing like my body. I'm seeing my body. I'm full of blood everywhere. It's just filled up with blood. My car is mangled, crashed, destroyed. Everything's blowing up. Like I literally see all this as I'm going up. Like I'm looking down. I'm like, oh no, I crashed, and then it went all dark. And as soon as it went all dark, I was like trying to open up my eyes, and then out of nowhere, like this is so weird though. Out of nowhere, like out of nowhere, like almost like if it was a movie or a film that you're watching, like every single like amazing positive thing or that had happened in my life, like every positive, every great, like I literally remember from when I was a little child, like dancing and like I had all these little flashbacks. It was literally like a movie. Like when you read like a comic book and you see like the squares and this square tells you like a little story, like that's what I saw. Like I literally saw a roll like that go like this, and every single like square was like a memory of like the happiest time of my life, right? But and it went like this. It went like boom, right? It went so fast, like it went whoosh, but I caught it. I saw it, and it was so weird because when I saw like every single like scene that was happening, like I would feel that emotion of like happiness and joy. Like one of the memories was I remember it was like me and my dad, like when I was a little kid, not a baby, but I had like 3 or 4 years old, and I was going like this, like dancing, and he's sitting there and he's like, yeah, wepa, because I'm from Colombia, South America. So since we're kids, we're dancing, we're little kids. We already know how to like party and dance and do all this stuff. We're happy people. So that's one of my memories as I was a kid. My father going like, yeah, 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 and then me like, eh, like doing dancing and everyone looking. Like that was one of the memories. Another memory was like when I got my first puppy, like, oh, holding the puppy, like, and I literally every time I focus on that thing, like I will feel that emotion. Like if in that frame I was happy and screaming, that's what I would feel like. And if in the next frame I was like holding my dog and petting it, like I will feel that love and all that. You know what I'm saying? So every single frame came with an emotion, but this was so fast. It was like right. So I lived a hard life. I know a lot of people have hard lives and stuff like that, but I live a little bit of a hard life. So my memories, my happy memories, go from a little kid until I was 12 years old, until I was 13. So when I saw that little snippet of like my life, like, and I noticed this later when I saw the whole snippets, like everything was about from age 3 to 13. So like from 13 and up, so I was 23 when this happened to me. So from 13 to 23, my life was miserable. We'll get into that. A lot of things happen. So that's a different story for a different time. But I was very miserable. I was in a very messed up situation. So that's another story. We'll get to that. So I wasn't happy at all after 13. So when I died and I saw a little roll of like the happiest times of my life, I saw from age like 3 to 13. After that, it all went back to dark, right? So I see that little roll, feel all those emotions, and then it goes right back to dark again, right? Oh my God. Okay, guys, put on your seatbelt because I even get goosebumps thinking of this stuff, and when I tell it, I'm living it every time. So it's getting a little bit of woo. Okay, here we go. So saw a little movie, all bright colors, all this happy stuff, all the emotions, but it went so quick, right? And then I was just left in darkness, complete darkness, right? So I was left in complete darkness, and I'm like trying to open up my eyes to look around. I'm trying to like go hello, but I don't have a voice. Like I was trying to say hello, and nothing will come out. I'll hear nothing, so I'm like, okay, I can't talk. I can't see my own hands. I can't see nothing because it's completely pitch dark. Like it is the darkest you have ever seen in your life. Like I couldn't even see my finger right here. Okay, if I put my hand right here, it was so dark I couldn't even see. Okay, so next thing that happened is it got really dark, and then the mood got horrible. The mood got like really heavy. I don't know if you guys ever been in a situation where something really bad is about to happen and you feel it. That's pretty much what I felt, but it was times a million. Like it was about to be something horrible, right? So next thing I know, by this time the only sense that I have is my hearing. Okay, I can't see, um, can't smell, I can't touch, I can't see myself or anything. The only thing that works is my hearing. So everything's dark, everything's complete pitch dark, and then it just got really cold, like freezing cold, and I started like shivering, like I remember just shivering and going like, like it was so cold. And then out of nowhere, out of this side, out of my right side, I hear like little scratches, like for you guys that have a dog or a pet, if you have a hardwood floor, when your dog is walking by and you hear the nails going like that, that's what it heard. But it was like that. So I'm like, what? And then I will hear in this side and the other side. I'm like, what the hell? But I couldn't see, I couldn't scream, I couldn't do nothing. I could only hear. That was the only thing that I could do, just hear. So I would just hear these things going, then over here. And I got really, really scared. Like, I never been afraid of my life of anything, okay? I'm a daredevil. I race cars, I bungee jumped, I done so many crazy things, okay? Things that I probably shouldn't have done, and I'm not gonna talk about here. But some crazy stuff, okay? Like crazy stuff that people would never do. And I did it for like a hobby, okay? Like I was an adrenaline junkie, okay? Anyway, I'm not gonna tell you things that I did because I don't want people to think that I'm condoning these things or I'm trying to brag, but it was just crazy adrenaline stuff. Like I never killed anyone, never did anything like that, but I was a street guy doing street stuff, and you know that comes with an adrenaline rush, my friends, when you are there. Anyway, not glorifying that. Not gonna talk about that. But I have never felt this fear before in my life. Like I never been afraid like this before, right? Because now I'm hearing, and now I'm getting like scared. Like what is going on here? And I start like shivering and stuff because it's so cold. Now I'm like afraid, and I'm like, what the hell? Like I had no control of my body. I'm like, what is going on here? And then out of nowhere, this is so creepy. Out of this side, I hear the little nails in the ground, but then this time I hear, whoa! I'm like, whoa! And I look that way, and I tried to like swing my arms, like like, I didn't have arms or anything. It was just like everything was pitch dark. The only thing is I could hear, so I kind of jumped like that, and I looked that way, and then as I looked that way, then in the other side, it goes, and then the little feet. Now I'm like, oh my god, where the heck am I? Like, where am I? And then more, like going by me. Now I feel like there's like little bats or something flying by me, or something's flying by me, going, and I hear all these little feet and stuff just moving around, just like commotion and stuff, and it's all around me, like right next to me, and I can't see it, I can't touch it, I can't do anything but just hear and feel all this feet in complete dark. So I'm completely freaked the hell out right now, and I don't know what to do. And then out of nowhere, this sense of fear turned into like the urgency of like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Like, so I start hearing all this, and out of nowhere, like I hear all the little feet and all the like running away. Like they was completely petrified and scared. Like I hear all the and a whole bunch of feet, like, and they're running in every direction, like, but away from me. Now they're not running by me. They're not doing all these drive-bys, all this stupid stuff. They're running away from me. Okay, now they're running, like they're getting away from something. Like there is something here that just scared the crap out of these things, right? And these things are not nice. You can tell they're just so bad, right? You can feel like in the air, just that emotion of like something bad, right? So this thing start running away, running in every direction, and you can hear them like, like, oh, and out of nowhere, like it got super quiet, right? And it's completely dark still, and it's super quiet, and I'm sitting there like, oh my god, no, what? Like I muster up, and I was trying to like scream, I was like, rah! And I couldn't scream. I had no voice. I had tried to open my eye. I can't see anything. I can't hear anything now. Now it's just completely dark. Like I literally feel like I have my eyes like this big, like this, but I can't see nothing, right? Like I'm literally going like this, but I'm in the dark, right? So what happens there is that everything got super quiet. The colder got even colder. So I even started like shivering more. to the point where now I was petrified. Okay, petrified, like I couldn't move. Like before, I couldn't see my arms, I couldn't see anything. Like I could only hear, but I could feel like myself, like like there was something going on. I was like, oh, like I could, kind of like, whoa, what is that? Like reaching for something. But now at this time, when this other presence came, like it completely just like binded me, like whoosh, like I was completely like being held almost, but I was just like binded, like oh my god. And then I don't know if you had ever like a gun or like your life, like you see your life, like if you ever had a gun put in your face and you're looking down that barrel and you get the moment when you're like that. Well, I had that happen to me, and that's exactly how that felt. It felt like I was just looking at a cannon in front of me, right? And like something was just aiming at me, like something was just on me, aiming on me, right? And then out of nowhere, I felt like this evilness, like whatever brought that feeling upon wanted to kill me. I literally felt like if I was just like a little bunny sitting there and I had a freaking lion, tiger, whatever had come around now that I was completely blind, that I couldn't scream, I couldn't see anything, I couldn't do anything. It was literally like breathing in my neck. And I could feel it. It was like like I thought my life right there. I was like, "This is it. I'm done." I literally felt like I had a tiger, a lion, a dinosaur, something right next to me, something ready to pounce me. I'm waiting to get killed. I'm literally waiting to get killed. And this thing that is around has bad intentions. I could feel him. It has hate. It has anger. It wants to kill me. Like it wants to just destroy me. So I just stopped, froze, and I was just waiting to die for whatever to just pounce on me. Like literally just waiting for it. I could hear it breathing in my neck. And I just closed my, I can't say that I closed my eyes because everything was so dark anyway, so I don't even know if they were open or closed, whatever. But next thing I know is I'm just sitting there waiting to get killed, and out of nowhere, like so far away, like when you look up in the sky at night and you see like the farthest star, like really, really, really far away, and you barely see like this beacon of light that like kind of turns on and turns off because it's so far away you can almost barely see it, right? I started seeing like that way so far in front of me, like a tiny little thing of light. And then out of nowhere, that tiny little light just sent like a miniature tiny ray, and it hit me. Like I see it go right in my chest. I could feel that tiny little ray of just some super bright, 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 bright light that came from this tiny little spot in the dark. Like this little spot of light seems like it was like hundreds of miles away. And it literally, I could see the little ray coming all the way and hitting me in the chest. As soon as that bright light hit my chest, I could feel the warmth. Like as soon as that light hit me, I felt warm, like from my chest to the rest of my body, like spreading. And that feeling of fear, of like I'm about to get killed, like murder, like it went away. Like I didn't even know what happened to that thing. Like it just started seeing that light, and the light started hitting me, and it started to feel like a peace and calm. So I'm like, what is this? And I tried to like make an effort to like take a look to see what's going on, like to look at the light really far away to see what it is. And I didn't know where that tiny little light just turns into like boom, like a spotlight in my face. Like literally, go take a flashlight and put it in your eyeball. No, actually, don't do that because you go blind. Don't do that. Everybody, don't do that. Don't do that. But that's what it felt like. It literally felt like here's my face and here's a light bulb, okay? Like if I had a light bulb right in front of my face, it's just bright. Like now it's a little tiny speck and miles away turn into the brightest light. Then now I'm like, before I was trying to open up my eyes in the dark, now I'm like, oh, like I closed my eyes because it was so bright. Like I could not look into this light. Like I literally felt like it was going to burn my eyeballs if I looked into this light. And then like whoosh, I got like either sucked into the light or the light came to me. It's so weird. Either one, like either I went into the light or the light just came to my face. One of those two. That's what it felt. Either I got sucked into the light or the light just shot into me like wham. So now when that light came or I got sucked into the light, it was completely bright. Like it was so bright you could not see nothing. So now I went from going like this to this. I'm like, ah, but it wasn't hurting. I just couldn't see. And I wanted to see. Why? Because, oh my God, when that light hit me, I felt like so much peace, so much happiness. Like when that light hit me, it felt like when you're a kid and like your mom or your dad or the person that you love the most or you look up to or the person you feel the safest like embraces you in their arms. That's what it felt like I was being embraced by like the most pure, the most nicest, like the most positive energy that could you ever been embraced by it or see or touch or feel. Like it was that crazy. Like it was so, this whole situation was just all emotionally like dramatic. Like I didn't get to see much, but I get to feel it, and like it felt like I literally it's crazy. So anyway, that light, super bright light, comes to my face. Wow, now I can't see anything, and I'm trying to see like what's going on because obviously something saved me. So I'm like trying to look at like what is it? What is it? That feeling of fear, that feeling that I was gonna get killed, that whole thing that went away right away. I felt nothing but warmth, love, peace, happiness. I feel the best. I feel the best I have ever felt in my life. Okay, the best I felt in my life, and all I could see was just those the bright light. So the light gets brighter, brighter, brighter. And I'm trying now. Now I got to the point where I can open up my eyes now, but I still all I see is just light. Now I'm not holding my eyes closed. Now I'm literally open them, but the light is just so bright and overwhelming that I can't see anything but just bright, bright, bright. And then out of nowhere, oh my goodness, I get goosebumps just thinking of this. I hear my father's voice. Okay, my father had been dead for like 10 years before that. He died in Colombia, South America. I didn't even get to see him. I didn't get to bury him. I didn't get to do any of that. But it was his voice. And he said to me, and I'm going to say how he said it to me. He said it in Spanish, and I will translate word by word. He said to me, tranquilo, chino, que usted todavía no le toca. Okay, that translate, don't worry, my kid, my son, this is not your time yet. So in Colombia, like chino means like kid, like dude, like like my buddy, like my little kid, my loved one, like venga chino, like come here kid, come here, blah blah blah. Nothing racist there. Chino is something else. Okay, so say tranquilo chino, usted todavía no le toca, which means don't worry son. But that's the thing though. It wasn't like God or something, because he called me Chino. That's like what I remember memories of my dad, like me being a little brat, and he'd be like, "Hey, Chino, stop doing that," you know. So like kid, Chino is like, "Hey, kid." That's what it is. It's like, "Hey, kid," "Hey, dude," "Hey, son," type of thing. That's what it means in Colombia. So I don't know what it means somewhere else. Okay, in Colombia it means something positive. It's nothing bad. It's nothing negative. Okay, so in Colombia, Chino. It's like, hey, Chino, venga pa' acá. That's how you talk to your kids, okay? It's nothing disrespectful, nothing wrong about that. Anyway, don't turn it into that. All right, so here we go. So I heard that voice that said, tranquilo, Chino, usted todavía no le toca. Don't worry, my son, it's not your time yet. And it wasn't God. It was my father's voice It was the way that he talked to me, with this accent, with this way of talking, with everything, his swag, everything about my dad. Like, that was him. So then, like, when I heard that voice, I even want to open up my eyes more, because that was my dead father that I didn't even get to say goodbye. So I like opened up my eyes more, 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 even though this light was so bright. And then the only thing I could see was, okay, when you die, people that are in the other side, they don't have a body. They're like an energy, okay? They're like an energy source. And you can literally not see anyone, but you can feel them. So I felt like my father was standing in front of me. It was a shape of something white, with this voice. And when you're standing next to your mother or your father, and like they're next to you, like you can feel them. You can feel it as your father or your mother. That's what I had. Like, I felt that my father's presence. He brought me back to when I was a little kid. I used to hold him in his arm. He used to hold me in his arms and all that. That's the feeling that I got. That's the voice that I got. And when he said to me, "Tranquilo, Chino, que usted todavía no le toca," which means, I already told you what it is. It means, don't worry, my son, it's not your time yet. As soon as he got done with that, and I started looking more, and I started to see like a shape, but it wasn't a human. I mean, I guess a shape of some head and shoulders. Like, everything was starting to like appear, to like make sense, to like started to I started to see better. Then it literally just, once again, that vacuum feeling. Like, if you grab the vacuum and you put it like in your arm and it sucks you, but this time was the opposite. This time it was taking me down, and it was spitting me down. So now this time, instead of sucking them, it was pushing me out. So I literally like I literally see that I'm about to see what these people look like, and then whoosh, it goes like that, like, it goes from really bright into dark again, and then from the dark, and this happened like so fast, like that. From seeing them, I'm about to like reveal their face. I'm about to see what they look like. I'm like, who is this person? And there was more energies around them. It was a whole bunch of energies. They all like, but my dad was in the front. There was like 1, 2, 3, 4, like it was like 5 or 6. I don't know who it was, but I knew that was my father. Like, his energy, he was there. He's been dead for 10 years before that. His voice is everything. So I see that, about to make sense of everything, about to see everything, and then everything just like turns dark again, and now I'm feeling like I'm falling. I'm falling. I'm falling. I look down, and guess what I see? Yeah, you guessed it, my car again, with me completely bleeding all over the place. And as I'm going down, like falling down, I see a police officer standing by my driver's side window, and then I see an ambulance or an EMT, paramedics, and one of them was in the hood of my car, which is completely like, cracked open. There's stuff like flying. There's like the fluids. Everything's just like, all the hot whatever. Just all the liquids are hitting the engine. Everything's like, this EMT had jumped in top of. Well, that's what I saw as I was going down. So as I was going, like, being put down in my body, I looked down and I saw my lifeless body, completely full of blood from head to toe, blood everywhere. I'm like this, blacked out, and as I'm falling, I see the policeman standing in the driver's side window, looking at me, like dead or whatever. I'm like looking down, blood everywhere. Then I see the EMT in the hood of my car, right? So when I land back into my body, boom, I land back into my body. It felt like, when you go into a pool and you try to hold your breath for a whole bunch of time, and you're like about to black out, and you're like go, and you come out and you take that deep breath, like out of water. That's exactly the same feeling that I got. So I landed back, and I'm like, oxygen air came into me, and as I was going down, I remember I seen the EMT in front of me. So when I landed, I opened up my eyes and I seen the EMT in front of my hood. My window is shattered. The glass had, the roof had collapsed. So I'm literally trapped in this Corvette. The top, it had a top, so the top went over, the car bended, so I was literally like trapped in a triangle like this with my car, with no front windshield, no, all the glass are blown up. Cops standing on the left, EMTs standing in the hood of the car, and when they came back alive, as soon as I woke up, oh, I felt like somebody grab a sword and just I once again, I don't know if you've been stabbed before, but I have. More than once. And it burns, okay? When I got hit, boom, I got hit. You feel the impact, right? Of something hitting you and then it starts burning, right? So that's what I felt. I felt the impact. Like when I came back, I'm like, oh, oh. And I tried to move my legs and I couldn't. My legs were paralyzed. Like I couldn't move my legs. And I tried to move my left arm. Try to move my left arm, and my left arm, like I look down, it's all full of blood. Everything's full of blood, and my left arm is not working correctly. Like I try to move it, and it goes like, but it doesn't go. And I'm like, oh no! So with all the might that I had in me, all the adrenaline and everything, with my right hand, I was able to reach out to the through the glass, to the front shield. I'm trapped like this. The EMT's like going in there trying to see what's going on. I wake up, he's like this, and I just reach out, whoosh, and I grab him by here, and I say, "My back, my back." And I'm holding the EMT like by the neck right here, and I'm not hurting him. I just want him to let him know that that my back, So I grab him and I say, "My back, my back," and then then I started getting like everything started moving and shaking, and like my arm started getting. So I guess what happened was that a police officer that was standing next to my front, next to the driver's side, saw me reach out for the EMT and grabbing them like this. That and this is a complete rookie mistake. And look, I not nothing. I'm very grateful and thankful for the police officers, for the EMTs and everything that were there and seen, but it's a complete rookie mistake. I reach out to talk to the guy and let him know that I'm injured, that my back hurts, and he pulled out his nightstick and he started beating the hell out of my arm. And then before I blacked out, because he's just hitting my arm, I can hear the EMT yelling at the cop like, "What the are you doing?" He's like, "No, he's trying to tell me something." And then I started convulsing. And then I blacked out, and as I was going out, I hear the EMT saying, "We gotta get him out now." So I blacked out again, and then I wake up again, and now I'm out of my car. I'm blacked out. I'm in my car, but now I hear this machine coming. This just unbending all the metal and all this stuff. Like pretty much what that was is called the jaws of life. So I was stuck inside my car. All the metal and everything had like trapped me. So what they were doing is they took this huge like jaws of life, kind of like scissors, and they were literally cutting like the roof off, like the metal frame of my car. Like, oh no, I'm sorry. They weren't cutting. They put the jaws of life between the front shield and the like where the pop roof would go, and everything went like this because the roof flew off. So I was like inside, almost like a little triangle. They grabbed the jaws of life and they stuck it in there, and they opened it up, and it started open the roof. So they were able to pull me out of there. They pulled me out, and then they put me on the street. Now I wake up again, and I'm completely naked. And they had strapped me. I was completely strapped. My neck was secure. Everything. God bless that EMT. He had actually listened. He didn't freak out. He didn't listen. That is an OG right there. His reaction wasn't like, "Oh," and like jump out and be scared or anything like that. When I reached for him, he literally like grabbed me and like he's like, yeah, like he knew I was trying to tell him something. It's not his first time around in an accident. He knew that I was going to try to tell him something. So he was getting ready to receive that message. He wasn't afraid. I didn't see fear in that man's eyes at all. Like he was like, yeah, what's up? Like, okay, what is it? You know, like he knew I was going to try something, and blood's coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh, my back. I'm bleeding inside. I'm bleeding everywhere. Broke my nose. This is not even my nose. My nose was smashed in. It looked like a sledgehammer was taken to my face, to an apple. So it was completely smashed. My jaw was dislocated, completely. My arm broken, left leg messed up, knee right, everything. Everything's just not working. My legs don't work. Um, I wake up second time, and I'm on the street, and I'm completely naked, and once again, just I took a deep breath, and I started breathing, and I saw everything. They were literally just picking up the stretcher from the ground and going into the ambulance, and then I felt like tremors like that again, and I remember the paramedic yelling, "He's going into shock! He's going into shock! He's going into shock!" And then after that, I woke up like a month later in the hospital. John Muir Trauma Center. Thank you so much for saving my life. John Muir Trauma Center in Walnut Creek. I owe you everything because their fast response. Well, first of all, the EMT's fast response. I owe everything to that EMT and that hospital and those doctors who did that surgery. Without that EMT that was on site, they could have moved me the wrong way and completely paralyzed me or injure me farther. Where by the time I would have got to the operating table, the damage would have been so bad that they would have been able to do anything. So because of that EMT being an OG and being, his first time around, he knew how to secure somebody. So like he probably secured me from the moment that I was inside the car. I bet he probably put the brace on and all this stuff as they're pulling me out. So here I am a month later because I was in a coma for like a few weeks after all this happened. So when I wake up and I'm like this. Everything was moving left and right. And I was feeling dizzy, and then all I heard was a voice of a lady saying, "Don't throw up, honey, don't throw up." And then she's like, "I'm gonna put you out." And then I remember falling asleep again. So I guess what they did is my lung, my right lung had collapsed, either blood clot or something, and then my left lung had collapsed, and only 10% to 15% of my lung was keeping me alive with a respirator. So they had a respirator on, and 15% of my lung was like keeping me alive enough for them to put me in the respirator. Okay, so that my lungs collapsed, everything was collapsing. I was dying again, blood clots and everything, bleeding inside. So the lungs, right lung fell, left lung started to fail. It was halfway fell. By the time they were able to hook me up, I was at 10% of my left lung. So it was like, thank God that when this accident happened, I was like a great shape. You know what I mean? Like I worked physical labor jobs, and I also worked out a lot. So I mean, thank God that when this accident happened, I was like at the top, at the best shape I ever been, or I would have died because that helped a lot. It makes you more resilient, stronger. All the muscles are harder, so you were able to take more impact, and stuff like that. Because I can't believe I didn't break my neck. So I guess what happened is when the car went off the road and hit the tree, the part of the seat belt that goes up here around my chest actually fell. Like it didn't work. Like it just didn't work. So what happened is that part that holds your waist down took all the impact and took all the pressure. So when I crashed, this part here fell. So what happens? It shot me forward, right into my steering wheel. That's how I broke my face. My face is the steering wheel. Broke my nose. Broke my jaw. Uh, the the glass from the windshield, from the mirror had cut. I mean, from the driver's side door had cut my arm. That's why I had blood all over the place. I was bleeding out of my nose. I was bleeding out of my mouth. So I'm bleeding everywhere. I think out of my eyeballs. I was even bleeding out of my eyeballs. Okay, because the trauma, the impact was so hard that I cannot believe I'm alive. So I'm very lucky. Very, 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 very lucky. So once I woke up in the hospital and they got me, into a room, I wake up again and I look up at the roof when I wake up. And when I wake up, I see like a white roof. And it looked just like the roof of my room. So for like slight second right there, I was like, plus by this time I'm so high on morphine that I put every drug in my body just to keep me pain free, right? So I wake up and I'm looking, and of course I'm high, so I'm looking and I see like a white roof and stuff, and it looked like my room, and I'm like, oh, it was just a nightmare. Oh my god! Like I was starting to think that I was like, oh, it was just a nightmare. Like then like I start hearing like beep, 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 and this other machine beep, 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 and then I start looking down and I look at my arms, and both of my arms had lines, just lines connected to these bags everywhere, and there was like a machine right here, beep, beep, with my heart rate. I had. That's when I realized. I said, "Oh no, it did happen. It wasn't a nightmare. Oh, I'm in the hospital." So I looked around, I looked everywhere. I, I seen all the tubes in my arms, all the IV, all the medicine, everything, and then I was like, okay, I'm out of here. Yeah, like I just woke up, I'm out, right? So I wake up and I'm like, oh, 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 oh man, my legs don't work. So I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, my legs don't work. I'm paralyzed from my waist down, right? So like a few, I yell, scream, get a nurse. The nurse comes over and say, "Can I please talk to the doctor, please, please, please?" And she's like, "Yeah, no problem." So she went and got the doctor. Doctor came back and he's like, "Okay, my friend, I got good news and bad news." I said, tell me the bad news." And he said, "You got into a fight with a tree." And I said, "What's the no, 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 no?" He said, "No, no." He said, "I got good news and bad news." He said, "The good news is that you live. The good news is that you're alive. The bad news is that you're paralyzed from your waist down." And I said, "How did this happen?" And then he said, "You got into a fight with a tree and you lost." So that's what he means. I went off the road, went into a tree, but so he was telling me that I was gonna be okay, I was gonna make it, but I was gonna be paralyzed from my waist down. So okay, that was the news, that was the bombshell. He goes away for a few hours and then he comes back, and he goes, "Okay, I have a proposition for you. I have a full team." I was so lucky because there was a doctors convention, spinal cord injury doctors convention in San Francisco, somewhere in the city, and these people had heard of my case, and they literally all flocked over John Muir Trauma Center. So I was so lucky. I had like the specialists in the whole United States, or the leading people on spinal cord injury, at the surgery, because there was a convention or something going on of spinal cord injury convention of doctors in the city of San Francisco, that they came over and they said, "We're going to do this operation on you. Do you want to try it? Because right now you're paralyzed, so it's a very risky operation. It's going to be like 12 hours. You might die in it. But we're going to try to fix your back, and if you survive that, then we'll fix your face, and everything else is broken." So I said, "Okay, let's do it. Like, what do I have to lose? I'm already like, literally, like, I just found out that I was paralyzed from my waist down, and at that moment, at that second, being on drugs and stuff, like, I didn't want to live. I was like, oh man, I don't even want to be here, right?" So when he told me that I had a chance to walk again, but I had to go through this really like crazy surgery, and after all the stuff that I was going through, like, it was going to be too much for my body, and I was like, I don't care, let's do it. So I signed the paper. My my family members like brought a priest and started like doing all the blessings and stuff, like if I was gonna die, I'm like, oh my goodness, that felt a little weird. I was like, oh Jesus. So they put me into the surgery. I went through the surgery, and I remember is waking up, and I woke up, and then the doctor said, okay, we got good news. Uh, the surgery has been a success. We're able to go in there, get all the spine, all the vertebrae fragments out of there. The good news is that you have an incomplete injury, which means that the nerves that are attached to my spinal cord have been damaged, but they're not completely damaged where they were like severed or anything like that. So pretty much imagine like a banana, and then you take a baseball bat and you smash it, but you still have like a banana kind of left, all smashed up. That's what my back looked like in the inside, because of the trauma, because of the accident. So they were able to go in, perform the surgery, and he said, now it's all up to your body. There's 50% chance that your body will accept this implant. There's 50% chance of infection, and then there's 50% chance that your body will, it's not gonna do anything. So we done everything we can done. Surgery was a success, but now you are in the hands of the Lord, pretty much, and luck. So I said, okay, thank you, doctor. I appreciate everything you've done. So shook his hand. And the craziest thing is this: my name is Andres Diaz, and I'm from Colombia. And the doctor that did the surgery, his first name is Andres, and he's from Colombia. That's crazy. So anyway, um, he said, "Okay, we done everything." Shook my hand. I thanked them so much. I lived through the whole surgery. It was a 12-hour surgery. First they worked. They fixed my back. They did the fusion. Then they went and they worked and they fixed my nose. From the inside of my mouth, I have a little cut right here where they went in to get all the bones out, fix my arm. They fixed everything that was broken pretty much as they could, controlled internal bleeding, so I was no longer going to die from this accident again. I already had died, but I wasn't gonna die again. So at this point, a week goes by and my legs are not back. So I'm really bummed, really depressed. Like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Blaming myself, blaming, just an emotional roller coaster, right? Didn't want to live, all this stuff. So then, one night I was like sitting there, like crying, just looking at the sky, and I'm like, everyone's like laughing for dead. Like, my girl at the time, nowhere to be seen. My friends at the time, I don't think they knew. I don't think they knew at the time, because the news didn't travel. Like, nobody knew what the hell happened to me. Like, out of nowhere, I just disappear. Because when it happened to me, I was all by myself and all this stuff. People started seeing it in the newspaper. Like, one of my best friends, Scott, his father, God rest in peace, he told my friend Scott, because he's seen in the newspaper that it was an article about a guy who pretty much killed himself, got in a wreck. So he's like, "Isn't that your friend?" He's like, "Nah, no way." Blue Corvette, but nah, no way. And it ended up being me. So, oh my God. So I'm sitting there one night, and I'm looking at the roof again in the hospital, and I'm crying, and I said to God, I said, "Look, God, thank you so much for giving me a second chance of life. Thank you so much for allowing me to live. Thank you so much for being there for me for this whole thing and not leaving me alone. And I swear to you that if you allow me to walk again, if you allow me to walk again and get my legs back, I will change my life from now on. I will be the most positive person. I will be the best version of myself. I will stop doing anything that is wrong, illegal, weird, not correct, street mentality." So I promised him, I said, if you give me another chance, I would change my life 1,000,000%. And I said, please, God, allow me to walk again, and I will change this. I will become a better man. I will become the man that you will be proud of calling your son. Those were exactly my words. I said, I will become the man that you will be proud of calling your son. Now, mind you, before this happened to me, I was not religious whatsoever, okay? I knew there was like a creator, But I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in the devil. The devil was my bitch. I didn't believe in any of that. The devil was for the weak-minded. The devil was for the lames. Like whatever, get out of here with your magical stories. And they're both real. They're both real. They're both real. It just depends what size you want to choose. You got the choice. You want to be on one good side or the bad side. I used to be in the bad side, but now I picked the good side, and believe me, it's a lot nicer over here. So anyway, I told God that night. I said, if you allow me to walk again, I will literally change my life. I will get rid of all the bad friends. I will stop doing all the things that will not make you proud of calling me your son. I will become the man that you will be proud to be, for you to call your son. Those were my literal words to God. And then I went to sleep as I was crying. I went to bed. That was probably like at 12 o'clock at night. So, oh man, getting goosebumps. This is hard to talk about. This is not a joke. So, it was 12 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, something like that. So I went to sleep, and then I didn't know where. Well, okay, a whole bunch of hours went by, and I say like around 4 or 5 in the morning. Oh my God, at 4 or 5 in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, ah, like screaming Bloody Mary, like screaming, ah. And I'm looking down on my legs, and what happened is I had a cramp in both of my legs, okay? I can literally feel my legs now, okay? I can feel my legs now. I can feel my legs now. And they're cramped up, and they're cramped up bad. And it's so funny because my mom and I have this thing that when we get a cramp on our calves and our legs, it's so funny. The middle toe in your foot will actually raise more than the other one. So you know what I'm talking about. So I look down at my feet, and they're completely cramped up. And I'm like screaming out, and I'm looking down at my feet, and both of my feet are going like this back to me. Oh, I started crying. I started laughing and crying. It was so crazy. I started punching my legs, and I will feel them. I was like, yes, yes, slapping myself. I was so happy because I could actually now smack my legs, and I felt something. I still couldn't move them. They were like dead weight. All the muscles, everything's atrophy. The surgery is still fresh. I'm not recovered yet, so I cannot move. But now I can feel, and this all happened the night before, a week after the surgery, when I told God, if you give me a second chance, I will not do these things that I used to do that you were not proud of me doing. And I completely did turkey. Stop that. And and when he allowed me to feel my legs and stuff like that, then I was so happy. And from there on, okay, we're gonna cut the story off right there. So that is the story of how I died and I came back to life, and also how God allowed me to walk again. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful and very thankful, first for the EMT, for the paramedic that was there to secure my spine so it wouldn't create more damage. I'm very grateful and thankful for the John Muir Trauma Center medical staff who did a hell of a job getting me to be stable, stabilizing me because I was not stable, I was dying. Um, Also very grateful and thankful for the doctors that performed the surgery. If these doctors weren't to perform the type of surgery that they did, then I will definitely would not be able to walk again. Um, so I am so lucky and I'm so grateful and thankful, and I have kept my word. I have completely changed my life. I have got rid of everyone who's negative in my life, anyone who was up to no good, anyone who, I'm not affiliated anymore. I'm not anything like that with anything anymore. I have been allowed to walk from the situation that I was. I was given, there's only two ways to get out of this certain things, and sometimes it's dead, and sometimes it's jail or getting killed. Uh, and when this happened to me, I was in a good place with the people, so they allowed me to go. I'm a cripple, broken back. They don't want me around. They don't need me around. I'm not good for that, and I didn't want to do all this stuff. Even if, I was still gonna separate myself from that life anyway. So, um, I made a change, and nowadays, every day I learn. It took me a while to become a better person. It wasn't just like right after the accident I was like, oh, hallelujah, I'm a better person. No, it took me a lot. I made a lot of other mistakes, and then I learned from those, and I asked for forgiveness, and forgiveness was given. And every time I make a mistake as a man, I'm able to recognize it, to apologize, and to make it better. That's what a man does. I don't, you don't make excuses. You actually fess up to your mistakes and correct them. That's nobody's perfect. So, guys, I just wanted to share this story. That is the story of how I died and I came back to life and I was given a second chance. And all I can say is that if you're in the same situation and you were given a second chance of life, don't take it for granted. Make sure that you do everything to live life to the fullest. Oh, and one thing that I did. So when I told you guys that I was in a car accident and I saw a flashback of all the good times in my life, I made it. I'm making it. I'm making it a point and a purpose that the next time that I die, I want that little movie that only lasted like 3 seconds. That only had like good times from when I was like 3 to 13. Next time I die, I'm gonna bring popcorn because I'm gonna be sitting there for like 10 hours watching all the amazing stuff, all the positive things that I have done, all the amazing, good, positive feeling. Like now I know when I die is gonna be so much for me to see. All the possibility, all the love, all the good things. So that was one of the things that I wanted to change my life because I felt like incomplete, like I didn't accomplish so much in my life, like I wasn't so happy. You know what I mean? Now I'm a very happy, positive person. I don't have beef, drama with anyone. I don't judge anyone. I don't make comments about anyone. I mind my own. I have taken some of my street stuff, my beliefs, and I keep them for sure. You gotta be a man, stand up guy. Always be real, nothing like that, no fakeness, no nothing. Stick with good people. So I learn a lot from the street. I learn a lot from books, and I learn a lot from life experiences, positive and negative. So I guess at the end of the day, if you go through something dramatic and you don't learn anything from it, then you have failed, okay? Because we go through all these trials and stipulations so we can become a better version of ourselves. We're not being punished. We're being taught a lesson. We're trying to be helped to become better, And a lot of times, like, there's people who go through the situations like what I did, and I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning, like I didn't, I said all these things and I started changing my life for positive, but sometimes I would slip and, I'd be caught at the wrong time in the wrong place with somebody and finding myself, doing something that I shouldn't have. And right away I get reminded. How I get reminded? My back will hurt. You know what I mean? Like I woke up the next day and I couldn't walk. And I still have that, whenever, well, it hasn't happened in a long time, but whenever I did something that I shouldn't have, I was punished for that. Like I couldn't walk for a day or two. My back was inflamed. I've been very lucky nowadays that I'm feeling a lot better, and I've been able to put out these videos. I've been able to do my own uh, recovery and everything. Everything that I show in these videos is exactly what I did to recover and to walk again. Um, Guys, I'm sharing the story, so I'm sharing the story. So if you have been through something like that or something like this, you can relate. There is life after death, 100%, and it's beautiful and it's nice. And the best part of it is that nobody talks. The best part of being dead, life after death, is that you only communicate through thought and feeling and emotion, and everyone's happy, peaceful, and beautiful. There's no negativity. The negative ones go down there. And in hell, I didn't see no fire. It was cold and it was scary. You know what I mean? It was the place where you never want to go. So I just want to thank everyone for watching this video. Want to thank everyone for the support. People that have subscribed. Thank you so much for the people that watch these videos. I'm sorry I haven't been able to make some videos within the last 3 months, but unfortunately, a family member has come down with rare form of cancer, and we've been taking care of that person. I've been taking care of that person, taking them to chemotherapies, doing therapies on their back because they have pain in their back from the cancer, all this stuff. So the last 3 months I have spent it on my family member to make sure that they're doing good. Also, it was so new to us that we were like, we didn't know like what to do. Now we're 3 months into this family member having cancer, so now we have create a schedule, a program. Now we know what we're dealing with. Now we know like what to do. Before it was all new, so I didn't have time to make videos or anything like that. So I apologize for not being around for like 3 months. Now there's some video that I'm supposed to make, and I actually did make it, but YouTube wasn't too happy with me because I show a lot of research from somebody else, from other scientists, and I guess there could be a copyright claim there, and I don't want to strike. So I am gonna come out with a video that I show how I was able to bring back feeling to the nerves and to the muscles that were paralyzed in my back. So my L3 and L4 injury runs down to my legs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you guys how I regain movement on my legs, and I do have other videos like show number 1, show number 2, 3, and 4. Show some of the exercises that I did. I'm trying to make a video to be specific about how I use the electrical stimulator to create movement from the spinal cord, from the side all the way to the muscle where it's supposed to be attached. So you pretty much follow it. So guys, stay tuned for the next video that's supposed to come out. I'm just gonna show my research. I can't show other people's research for copyright reasons. YouTube's a little crazy about that, but I don't want to get in trouble. So guys, thank you for watching. I love you all. Be positive. Don't give into the evil ways. Stay good. You can be a G and be a good. You can be a good guy. It doesn't mean you need to change your who you are. As long as you're a good person, doesn't matter how you talk, how you walk, what you dress like, what you whatever. As long as you're a good person, that's all that matters. So there's not a dress. There's not a dress code for good people. We all come. We all we have tattoos. We have earrings. We have whatever. We're still good people. So don't go out there. Don't judge anyone. Be kind to each other. Respect everyone. Be a gentleman. Be a real woman. Love, respect everyone. Thank you so much. And look, I can walk again. I can walk. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I love you all. Peace out.